Anthony Yanta.
Good evening. First off, as I've been sitting back there, I hear a lot of talk about teacher shortages. It's true. Teachers are leaving schools left and right. Why? Do you know why? Does anybody have a clue? They're leaving because of your policies. That's why they're leaving. Okay? I taught in Chesterfield County for 20 years. Okay? And in September, I was forced out because of your policies. Now, I'm not here as a begruntled teacher. I'm not. You know, what you meant for evil, God meant for good. I got another job, and I don't have the stress. I don't have the anxiety of watching kids not be taught, watching discipline go out the window, having mandates that make no sense. Masks don't work. Don't you people read? Don't you people look at seeing what the CDC has on their website? Go to the FDA.com. Right on their website says there is no test in the world to test for any of these variants. Any of them. None. But yet you got kids getting tested. I got COVID. I got COVID. How do you know what you got? There's not a test that can test it. And by the way, COVID has never been isolated. Never. It's never been isolated in the lab. Go research it. Don't listen to me. Go find out. Masks, every time you put one on, your immune system drops by 17%. But don't listen to me. Go do the research. I'm here tonight to publicly serve the school board the notice of intent to file claim against your risk management plan, as well as give my notice of intent against Merv Doherty, superintendent of CCPS, to file a claim against his surety bond for unconstitutional and illegal actions along with his Army appearance that I have behind me. Violation of your oath of office. You have sworn an oath to uphold the Constitution of the State of Virginia and the Constitution of the United States of America. You have failed to uphold both of these constitutions. We do live in a free country, you know, and the Constitution doesn't guarantee collective rights. It guarantees individual liberties. So when these people come up here and say everybody should be masked, no, that's not what the Constitution says. I don't lose my liberties because you're afraid to live your life. So we live in America, free to live our lives without restrictions, abuse, and unlawful mandates from elected government officials. Mandates are not enforceable laws. And as an elected public servant, you have no jurisdiction or authority to create or enforce mandates. You've been practicing medicine without a license. You and everyone employed by this district.
Thank you, Mr. Yanta. Your time has expired.
Well, how much time do I get? 3 minutes, don't I? That's 3 minutes? Mm-hmm. Are you kidding me? I'm going to finish this paragraph.
Thank you, Mr. Yanta. Your time has expired.
Everyone employed by this district, such as teachers and administrators, have engaged in the practice.
Sir, your time's expired.
Which is a violation of state law. You recommended medical procedures, vaccinations, withholding.
Sir, your time has expired.
That license under the EUA.
Can you, Deputy? Thank you.
John Ward.
Hello, my name is John Ward. I'm here tonight to publicly serve the school board the notice of intent to file claim against your risk management plan, as well as give notice of intent against Merv Daughtry, superintendent at CCPS school. File a claim against a surety bond and unconstitutional legal actions, along with this Army appearance behind me. Universal citation, VA Code 18.2-25, by allowing inappropriate material on school grounds that is obscene and not appropriate for children under the age of 18 is a felony. As the superintendent of the school, it is your responsibility to review all material that enters school grounds. Furthermore, allowing boys to use the girls' bathrooms is dangerous and inappropriate for young children. Universal Citation VA 18.2-27. Every person who attempts to commit an offense which is a misdemeanor shall be punishable by the same punishment prescribed for the offense, the commission of which the object was the attempt. Do you realize that transporting, displaying, and encouraging young children to read offensive, inappropriate material is against the law? The material that is now in this school district is dangerous and should not be shown to any child under the age of 18. Universal Citation VA Code 18.2-2372. The word obscene, where it appears in this article, shall mean that which, considered as whole, has its dominant theme of purpose and appeal to prurient interest in sex that is shameful, morbid, interest in nudity, sexual conduct, sexual excitement, excretory function, or products thereof, or sadomasochistic abuse, and which goes substantially beyond customary limits of candor and description or representation of such matters, and which, taken as whole, does not have serious literary, artistic, political, or scientific value. The books that are purchased now and given to our children have no scientific value and are obscene. They have the dominant sexual shame, shameful, and only harm young children's minds. On more than one occasion, parents have spoken up against these types of literature in our schools. Why would you even allow this type of material in school? The type of literature has absolutely no serious literary value in our schools. By God's grace, we the parents, they alongside me and me alongside them, are not here just for our kids, but for the children, the parents, and teachers that are filled with fear to speak up for themselves. I'm here for that child who has social anxiety, depression, and feels lost. The children who have been affected and tormented daily because of this board and the CEA, who have wielded a morning star of willfully unchecked and harmful rules that have left thousands of children emotional, physical, psychological health severely harmed, scarred, or stunted. You have now woken up the lions and lionesses, and we have come to shield for those who have no voice, and we have come to swing the sword in the name of our children and the generations after.
Teresa Cox Gramwell.
Hi, my name is Teresa Bramwell, and I'm here tonight to publicly serve the school board this notice of intent to file a claim against your risk management plan, as well as give my notice of intent against Merv Daughtry, superintendent of CCPS, and to file a claim against his surety bond for unconstitutional and illegal actions, along with this army of parents that have spoken before me and those that are coming after. Production, publication, sale, financing, etc. of child pornography, presumption as to age. The material you and the school board have decided to purchase and introduce into our public school system is sexually explicit and visual in nature. This type of literature is being pushed upon our children along with critical race theory and transgender. Young minds do not need this type of education. We are not paying our taxes so that your school system can purchase these types of learning aids, as they're so called, for our children. Display of child pornography or grooming video or materials to a child, unlawful penalty. This type of material is displayed all over the state's public schools. It appears you, the school board, teachers, and librarians are not protecting our children against this type of exposure to offensive material that tries to groom young children's minds. Therefore, it is now up to us as their parents to fight back, take a stand, and remove this material out of our schools once and for all. We do not approve of such material in our public school, and especially we do not approve of this around young children under the age of 18. Transfer of obscene materials to minors. The U.S. Supreme Court established the test that judges and juries use to determine whether matter is obscene in 3 major cases. There was Miller versus California in 1973, Smith versus United States in 1977, and Pope versus Illinois in 1987. The 3-pronged Miller test is as follows. Whether the average person applying contemporary adult community standards finds that the matter taken as a whole appeals to prurient interest, for example, an erotic, lascivious, abnormal, unhealthy, degrading, shameful, or morbid interest in nudity, sex, or excretion. Even the Supreme Court has established a law that prohibits this type of material into our public schools if we find it offensive and trying to sexually arouse our children. If this is the type of material that is taught in public school, each and every teacher that pushes this type of material and agenda should be removed from the public school. This includes yourself for allowing this to be brought into our schools and displayed before our young, impressionable children. By willfully and knowingly purchasing material for children that is harmful, offensive, sexually oriented, and disgraceful to
Thank you,
display
Ms.
in the library.
Ms. Cox Gramwell. Your time has expired. Robin Shoney.
Hello, my name is Robin Shaning. I'm here tonight to publicly serve the school board this notice of intent to file against your risk management plan, as well as give my notice of intent against Merv Doherty, superintendent of CCPS, to file a claim against his surety bond for unconstitutional and illegal actions, along with this army of parents that have spoken before and those who will speak after me. U.S. Code 1983. Civil action for deprivation of rights. Our children have a right to live without requirements or mandates that restrict their ability to breathe freely. Forcing mandates on children have caused behavioral problems, learning disabilities, and damaged social skills. U.S. Code 1985, conspiracy to interfere with civil rights. You, along with your school board, have voted to uphold unlawful mandates that have interfered with the civil rights and abilities of the teachers and the principals, therefore preventing them from performing their duties. You've placed restrictions on the schools and principals that force them to follow these mandates and requirements or be relieved of their duties. The school board has fired teachers and have coerced them to retire early, discriminating against their First Amendment rights for refusing to comply to push CRT and mask wearing. Teachers of the district have been coerced into accepting an experimental vaccine that is not FDA approved in order to continue their employment. Notice of breach of fiduciary duty. The school board and school superintendent has a fiduciary duty to all the staff, children, and parents of the school district. As an elected public servant, you have breached a duty to serve this community and uphold the Constitution of the United States. Illegally mandating EUA, emergency use authorization, products from the FDA has violated the trust of your constituents in this district. You were elected by the people to serve the people in a lawful manner outlined in the constitutions of the state of Virginia and United States of America.
Tanya Kelly.
Hello, my name is Tanya Kelly, and I'm here tonight to publicly serve the school board this notice of intent to file claim against your risk management plan, as well as give my notice of intent against Merv Doherty, superintendent of CCPS, to file a claim against his surety bond for unconstitutional and illegal actions, along with this army of parents who've spoken before and those who will speak after me. Federal law under Title 21 of the Federal Food, Drug, and Cosmetic Act. Any product that is not deemed FDA approved cannot be enforced or mandated. Masks, PCR testing, and vaccines are under EUA, emergency use authorization, use only, and it is illegal for any federal or state government to mandate such items. Furthermore, you and your school board members do not have the authority to mandate EUA products. Title VII of the 1964 Civil Rights Act. To enforce the constitutional right to vote, to confer jurisdiction upon the district courts of the United States, to provide injunctive relief against discrimination in public accommodations, to authorize the Attorney General to institute suits to protect constitutional rights in public facilities and public education, to extend the Commission on Civil Rights, to prevent discrimination in federally assisted programs, to establish a commission on equal opportunity employment, and for other purposes. Illegally creating and or enforcing policies on minors in order to attend school violates their civil right to attend school as citizens of the United States of America. Restricting teachers and children's freedoms by forcing them to wear a mask that is dangerous and has no concrete scientific backing and is in direct violation of their civil rights. The Individuals with Disabilities Act. Every child is entitled to a free and appropriate public education. When a school professional believes that a student between the ages of 3 and 21 may have a disability that has substantial impact on the student's learning or behavior, the student is entitled to an evaluation in all areas related to the suspected disability, creation of an individualized education plan. Many children who attend classes within the school district have disabilities. It is against the law to enforce the use of masks on these children. Many children with disabilities cannot safely wear a mask. The toolkit states individuals who cannot safely wear a mask are exempt. However, you and your school board had not adhered to this. Conversely, you have demanded that all children attending school wear a mask. Thank you.
Bobby Eberth.
Hi, my name is Bobby Eberth. I'm here tonight to publicly serve the school board this notice of intent to file claim against your risk management plan, as well as my notice of intent against Merv Daltrey, superintendent of CCPS, Chesterfield County Public Schools, to file a claim against his surety bond for unconstitutional and illegal actions, along with the army of parents that have spoken before and those that are getting ready to speak after me. COL color law, which is Section 242 of Title 18, says, whoever under color of any law, statute, ordinance, regulation, or custom willfully subjects any person in any state, territory, commonwealth, possession, or district to deprivation of any rights, privileges, or immunities secured and protected by the Constitution or laws of the United States, or to different punishments, pains, or penalties on account of such person being an alien or by reason of his color or race that is prescribed for the punishment of its citizens shall be fined under the title in prison not more than 1 year or both, and if bodily injury results from the acts committed in this violation of this section of, or if such acts include this use results in any injury, attempted use, or threatened use of dangerous weapon, explosives, or fire, shall be fined under the title or in prison not more than a year, 10 years, or both. And if death results from these acts committed in violation of the section, or if such acts include kidnapping or an attempt to kidnap, aggravated sexual abuse, or to attempt to commit aggravated sexual abuse or attempt to kill, shall be fined under this title or in prison for any term of years or life, or both, and may be sentenced to death. Even if one child is harmed, injured, or dies as a result of these mask requirements, PCR testing, receiving a vaccine as a result of your coercion, you and your entire school board members are liable for all injuries. The test to stay program needs to go and does not need to be in Chesterfield. It is completely discriminating against unvaxxed and unmasked children. Intentional disregard of dangers of face coverings. Masks can cause severe acne and other skin problems. The discomfort of masks distracts some children from learning, like deaf children that have to read lips and some that nature. By increasing airway resistance during breathing, masks can lead to increased levels of carbon dioxide in blood. Masks can be vectors of pathogens if they become most are used for too long. The use of masks have been proven to make it worse on anxiety and breathing difficulties for some students that already have issues. School staff are not monitoring for any of these above conditions. NIH study 2015 says the cloth masks have 97% failure rate and the surgical masks have 44% of failure rate. So if we're going to be serious, let's wear N95s for the past 2 years and not be falsehoods with these masks working. They don't work. Protection of children, international humanitarian law, deals with the various aspects of the legal protection of children as members of the civilian population. Our children are protected under this international treaty because we are now living in a hostile environment, and our children are particularly vulnerable for what is taking place around the world. Enforcing mask policy or young children is a violation of this international treaty. Furthermore, exposing young children to obscene materials.
Thank you, Mr. Eberth.
Yes,
Your time
thank
has
you.
expired.
Thank you.
Matt McNeil.
Hello, my name is Matthew McNeil. I'm here tonight to publicly serve the school board notice of intent to file a claim against your risk management plan, as well as my notice of intent against Merv Daugherty, superintendent of CCPS, to file a claim against his surety bond for unconstitutional and illegal actions, along with this army of parents that are spoken before me and after. The Hague Conference on Private International Law. The Hague Conference on Private International Law, HCCH, is a global intergovernmental organization that has developed standards for the transnational cooperation on child protection and family matters. The HCCH protects our children and their families against abuse inflicted upon them from a public school system. Our children are to be protected in our home and when attending public schools. Your failure to protect our children is in direct violation of the Private International Law, HCCH. UN Child Protection. Our public school systems have become a hostile environment for our children. The school board has enforced illegal mask policies, allowed offensive material to enter into the school system, and has instructed the teachers to teach critical race theory, aka SEL, as part of the educational system. The UN protects our children, and the United States of America has signed a treaty with the UN in order to ensure our children are protected at home and in our public schools. International humanitarian law. Our children are not now, nor have ever been, involved in direct hostilities in order to conquer an illness that has a 99.8% survival rate. Our children are protected under the international humanitarian law and must be protected at all costs. Demanding and or mandating EUA masks and PCR testing on the public school system does not protect our children and the rights to freedom of education and life. UNESCO Universal Bioethics Declaration. This law and treaty is still in effect today and protects our children's right to human dignity, human rights, and fundamental freedoms. Masking our children takes away their human rights in society to live freely and express themselves. Furthermore, demanding our children to declare they are transgender is in direct violation of international human rights. There's a bigger picture going on that people want us distracted by. What's really going on is the public school systems are creating SJWs to meet a certain end. But let's leave it at this. You're not going to turn this country into an authoritarian dictatorship. Patriots are not going to allow it. You can tell the rats are fleeing the ship. Look at the people who are not running for re-election. You will not get away with this. We are coming after you in the courts and adjudication. We're going on offense. The American people will not be intimidated by anything. Suck on that, Merrick Garland.
Doris Nick.
Hello, my name is Doris Kinnick, and I'm here to publicly serve you and the school board this notice of intent to file a claim against your risk management plan, as well as give my notice of intent against Merv Doherty, Superintendent CCPS, to file a claim against the surety bond for unconstitutional and illegal actions, along with this army of parents that have spoken before me and that will speak after me. There is a Geneva Declaration of the Rights of Children. Every child has the right to health, education, and protection, and every society has a stake in expanding children's opportunities in life. The school board's mandates are endangering the health of our children. We are no longer able to protect our children when they attend public school. The school system now is based on CRT and offensive material that is brought in by this board and distributed throughout the schools in this district. Your school board is distributing offensive material and pushing the LGBTQ agenda in schools. You and your school board members are in direct violation of the Geneva Declaration, which is an international treaty that protects our children's rights to health and an education. U.S. Federal Code 21 CFR 50.23. It's illegal to use an experimental product using coercion. It's illegal to make anybody participate in an experimental program using coercion. This is, in fact, how we actually embrace U.S. law, the Nuremberg Code. 18 U.S. Code 2331, Section 802, terrorism on U.S. citizens. The government is not authorized to illegally coerce the population. The Nuremberg Code, Dr. Doherty, since you're not looking up, just wanted to make sure you're listening. Everyone has the right to life, liberty, and security of person. No one shall be subjected to inhumane and degrading treatment. Everyone is entitled to full equality, to a fair and public hearing by an independent and impartial tribunal in the determination of his rights. No one shall be subject to arbitrary interference with his privacy, family, home, or correspondence. The right to informed consent is meaningless without the right to refuse any medical intervention, including mandated vaccinations. Government agents and those acting under the color of law are forbidden by long-standing national and international law from coercing vaccination. Furthermore, this also includes mask mandates, PCR testing. Children under the age of 18 years of age need a parent signature and any and all documents that deal with medical testing, and this includes PCR testing in schools and testing to stay. And it is my opinion that we are currently experiencing, whether you acknowledge it or not, Nuremberg 2.0. As Annie and myself and and Coach marched at the March Against Mandates in D.C. with 40,000 other Americans. I'm well aware of this is a human rights issue. This is a civil rights. These are civil rights crimes. This is a spiritual war we're in. This is a war against religion, a war against freedom, and a war against our children. And it's not acceptable. In the United States, there are plenty of states already with not masking teachers, not masking students, Arizona, Utah, Texas, Oklahoma, Florida. And we've got more that are coming up here now. Those states are fine. For those people who are living in fear, that's your choice. You could do what we did. Pull your kids out until this nonsense is over if you feel so uncomfortable.
Thank you, Ms. Kinnick. Your time's expired.
I just have one more thing to say. The unvaccinated are not...
Thank you, Ms. Kinnick. Your time is expired. Nancy DeFranco.
Interesting, isn't this? Hello, my name is Nancy DeFranco. I am here tonight to publicly serve the board this notice of intent to file claim against your risk management plan, as well as give my notice of intent against Merv Doherty, superintendent of CCPS, to file a claim against his surety bond for unconstitutional, and illegal actions, along with this army of parents that by God's grace have spoken before me and those who will speak after me. The legality of obscene materials is addressed in both Virginia and U.S. Code. They state, it is unlawful for any person knowingly to exhibit, publish, print, or circulate any obscene item or performance where such obscene item, exhibition, or performance may be obtained, seen, or heard by minor children. Additionally, there is a section 1466A of Title 18 of the United States Code. This is my favorite part. This notice is provided to inform you that this army of parents has provided to you the unconstitutional and illegal actions that have endangered the health of the children attending this school district. Furthermore, the CRT and the LGBTQ+ and the G is inappropriate material to be taught in any school. It incites violence and causes extremely emotional and suicidal tendencies in children. You have 72 hours upon receipt of this notice to correct these violations at all schools in the Chesterfield County School District. This includes removed forced vaccinations and forced masks for teachers. Stop coercing all forms of COVID-19 propaganda concerning how dangerous COVID is to parents and grandparents, stating that all children should want to save their lives by getting the vaccine and they can choose for themselves and do not need the consent of the parents. Stop contact tracing. Stop test to stay for students and staff. Stop requiring a COVID test to get a public education. Stop using badges to track our children. Remove all discriminatory guidelines against unvaccinated teachers, staff, and students. Stop discriminating against unmasked and unvaccinated children. And all vaccine clinics on school grounds, cease coercion and pushing CRT, Transgender Gay Rights Week, demanding children to declare if they are transgender to participate in school activities, halt all enforcement of policies that require universal masking
Thank you,
without
Mr.
parental
Franco. Your
consent.
time's expired.
Annie will finish for me. Thanks.
Ann Tatus.
I will remind each of you that you brought this on yourselves. All of you should sit up and pay attention because if you don't listen, this is not a threat. All funding will be pulled from this county if you do not listen to us, and we will file, and that means all federal, all state funding will be pulled. Hello, my name is Ann Tatus. I'm here tonight to publicly serve the school board this notice of intent to file claim against your risk management plan, as well as to give my notice of intent against Merv Doherty, superintendent of CCPS, to file a claim against his surety bond. We have $2 million worth of parents back here. for unconstitutional and illegal actions along with this army of parents who have boldly spoken before me. If these illegal actions do not stop, we will file a claim. You have 72 hours upon receipt of this to correct these violations. You will stop grooming children who are in gender crisis. Locking them into a transgender status that evidence has proven will, an overwhelming majority, will resolve themselves by puberty. You will stop voting based on legal counsel in secret, and voting will be done after hearing every public comment during the quorum. You will stop failing our children and the majority of teachers based on threats made by the Chesterfield Education Association. You will stop having separate standards of behavioral conduct and grading processes based on skin color. We have evidence. You will rewrite the policy and procedure manual the school board you destroyed taking office January 2020, removing 3 pages of governances. You will add the advisory committee back into the manual from August 10th, 2021, which gave sole policy making to the superintendent without any checks and balances. You will create a parental advisory committee if you insist on voting based solely on the superintendent's recommendations. The above-mentioned parental advisory committee development and policy adoption committee development, removed August 10th, 2021, will be done with full transparency and knowledge of community committee nominations and opportunities sent through CCPS email so all parents are given a chance to be involved. You will stop ignoring the community and parents of Chesterfield County, who the county itself recognizes as the body you, the school board, work for and are above you in the chain of command. Parents have a right to vote on the educational material that is taught in our schools. Additionally, we have a right to peruse, examine, and approve or disapprove all material that school board would like to introduce to the schools. You are elected to serve the public and represent parents' wants for children. Failure to comply with the aforementioned
Your
demands,
time's expired.
72 hours, and then we go to federal court.
Heather Mitchell.
This could have been different. I served this board June 2nd, 2021, with a notice of constitutional violations. You ignored me. You refused my certified letters at the guidance of Wendell Roberts. My daughter Sarah was denied a religious and medical exemption in May 2021. Tonight, I'm serving you again. You violated the following: your oath of office, the Virginia Constitution, the Americans with Disabilities Act, Individuals with Disabilities Act, the Geneva Declaration of the Rights of a Child, International Humanitarian Law, UN Child Protection, Virginia Code 18.2, 22, 25, 27, 372, 376, U.S. Code 1983, 1985, Civil Rights Act of 1964, the Color of Law, Section 242, Title 18, the Nuremberg Code. Now, I will provide copies of my notice intent for my daughter to file against your county management policy and the Fidelity and Deposit Company Maryland bond number 9304122 for $100,000 apiece. You've been served, and P.S. God wins.